So let's go ahead and use synthetic division on number 5 now. So what we do to set it up is we take the opposite sign of the constant that's in the binomial here. So in this case it's 2, so we're going to take the opposite sign of that, and that means we have a negative 2 we're going to go ahead and set up inside this little box here. Okay. The next thing we do is we take the coefficients and constants of our trinomial there and set them alongside on the right side of that little box that we placed there. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 down next on the other side, on the right side here. And the next number that we have there is 6, so let's go ahead and place that there. And then the last number that we have there is 4, so we're going to go ahead and put a 4 here. Okay. Go ahead and draw a line down underneath. This helps us keep things a little more organized here. And then the first thing we're going to do to actually do synthetic division is we're going to drop the 2 down below the line that we have there. So drop that first number 2 down below the line, and then we take that 2 and multiply it by the negative 2 we have in the box. So 2 times negative 2, that would be negative 4, and where you place that number that you get is underneath the next number that you have in the top there. So negative 4 goes right underneath there, and then the operation that we do on these is we add them. So we're going to add those two. Add 6 plus a negative 4. That, of course, is positive 2. Okay. And now once we've got that, we repeat the process. So we take that positive 2 that we have just got and multiply it by the negative 2 in the box. That makes negative 4 again, and I place that number underneath the next number there. And so we have 4 plus a negative 4 now. That gives us a remainder of 0. Okay? And I have numbers here. Once again, though, maybe you're a little bit confused about how we know what variable to put on those numbers. So all you have to do is look at your powers of your leading terms in both the trinomial that we have and the binomial. And the trinomial, our degree here, okay, of the leading term is 2. Okay. In the binomial, our degree is 1. You subtract the 2, 2 minus 1, that gives you 1. And so we know for our number 2 that we have starting out with, our number 2 is going to have a variable of x with a power of 1. And we don't need to put a power of 1 on there, but we get that 1 from subtracting the 2 that's on the trinomial, the leading, or the degree of the trinomial there, which is 2, minus the degree of the binomial there, which is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay? And then you just go in descending order with your variables. So then, of course, our next number there is plus 2, and with a remainder of 0, we don't really need to be worrying about putting 0 on the end there. Okay, so 0 is a remainder. That's our final answer. Let's go ahead and do long division on this trinomial now. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do long division. So we're going to use this division sign here. We're going to place our trinomial inside. So we have 2x squared plus 6x and then plus 4. Okay. Our binomial goes on the left side here. So we have x plus 2 on the left. And then what we're going to do to actually divide this is we're going to go ahead and take the leading term in the trinomial and divide it by the leading term that's in the binomial. Okay, so we take the 2x squared and divide it by the x. And what does that give us? That gives us 2x, right? Kind of going off the page. It's supposed to be 2x there. So we have 2x, and we place that in the x column. Okay, that'll be right here. So we have 2x, and now what we do with that result is we multiply that we got, 2x, times this whole binomial here, and we place our answer underneath these two terms. Okay, so we're going to multiply it by that binomial that we have there and then place the answer underneath the two terms here. Okay, so 2x times x would be 2x squared. 2x times 2 would be 4x. Okay. And now what we do once we have that multiplication done is we subtract these. Okay? We're going to subtract these away. Now, you could subtract them, but once again, the easiest thing to do that most people find is just to distribute the negative, multiply everything by a -1, and add. So that's what we'll go ahead and do. We'll distribute the negative we have out in front here, and then add instead of subtract. Okay? So distributing that negative, of course that makes that a minus 2x squared, and then in the middle there, that instead of plus 4x, that would be minus 4x. Okay? Now let's go ahead and add these things together. 2x squared minus plus a negative 2x squared would be 0. 6x plus a negative 4x would be 2x. Okay? Let's go ahead and use a different color here. So we have 2x. And then we bring down the 4 here. Okay? That's the last thing we do. And then the whole cycle repeats over again. Okay? But now we're going to go ahead and divide this term now, this leading term, 2x, by the x here. And then we just repeat the whole cycle that we just did. So we take that 2x divided by x, and we get the number 2. Okay? So that number goes in the constants place here, the ones place, constants place. And so let's go ahead and place that there, plus 2. Okay? And then we're going to multiply that 2 times the whole binomial that we have right here and place that result down here. Okay? So multiply it by your binomial, place the result down here. So 2 times x will be 2x. 2 times 2, that's just 4. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is, once again, we're going to subtract these. Now, I could subtract outright, but people find it easier to distribute that negative and then add. So we're just going to take and multiply all our terms down there by a -1 and add instead. So that makes negative 2x, and that makes a minus 4. Okay? So adding these, 2x plus a negative 2x is 0. 4 plus a negative 4 is 0. Okay? So our remainder here again is 0. And then our final answer is 2x plus 2. And look, they match, so we did everything correct. So our final answer there is 2x plus 2 as well. And we got the same answer 2 different ways, so we know we're correct.